Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Tea Time Tuesday. We hope that you are having a wonderful afternoon. We're so excited that you're joining us for another time of pause, reset, and building resilience. And not only that, we hope that you will invite your friends, invite your colleagues to join us here at the Renewal Center. And while you're doing that, if you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe and like and share this. Go ahead and share this broadcast with others today because we are excited about our monthly awareness that we're talking about this month with is Stress Awareness Month. And we're carrying on tools and strategies and things like that through our renewal practices that's going to really help you and help all of us to become more aware about stress. You know, all of us are being encounter stress from time to time. And so we want to draw awareness to that for Stress Awareness Month and how we can approach stress in productive ways and combat stress, right? And so we're excited about focusing on our well-being. And we hope that you will take the time to do some things that will help you in Stress Awareness Month because we want to foster well-being here at the Renewal Center. So once again, go ahead and bring your tea, get your tea. And I got my tea time journal today, and I'm ready for Hope because today Hope is going to help us in Stress Awareness Month reclaim our peace. And so I'm excited and I'm ready today. Hope that you are excited, and we want to get our viewers up. So please go ahead and invite others to join us today so that they can partake in what we're going to be talking about. Now, while we're doing that, we're going to go with our tea of the week, which I thought would be pretty appropriate for today. Lavender and rose tea is our tea of the week. You know, lavender and rose tea is a nice herbal blend. It's a nice variety of lavender leaves and rose leaves or rose petals, rose hip petals, very fragrant. And you know that lavender and rose kind of complement one another. It harmonizes pretty well. It's a very refreshing and soothing tea. And so once again, today at the Renewal Center, our tea of the week is lavender and rose tea. And so with that being in mind, go ahead and put in the chat, Tea Time community, what is your tea of choice today? What are you drinking? What are you having? We want to share with everyone and relax. What'd you say, Hope?
I said, yes, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, we want to relax today. So go ahead and tell us what you're drinking and while you're doing that. We're going to take our time. I think that Hope flashed a few of your names across the screen. I missed your name, so we want to welcome you today. Let's see who's out there today. Hi, Alicia. Good afternoon to you too. And let's see. And Nichelle. Yes, thank you, Nichelle. Good afternoon to you too. So we're so excited. Green tea. That's supposed to be a really good tea, green tea. Okay. Thank you for sharing that, Alicia. Green tea. Anybody else got some teas? Okay, Nichelle, you're hydrating with your H2O. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Anybody else?
All right. I'm not having tea. I'm having sparkling water.
Mm-hmm.
I have sparkling water a lot.
So that's good. You got flavored sparkling water or just regular?
I drink the regular and I drink flavored. So right now I'm drinking fruit punch sparkling water.
Nice. Fruit punch.
I'm sorry, yeah, tropical fruit and no sugars, nothing is in this. Absolutely not. So this is good. It's healthy, no sugars, no carbs, no anything like that. So it's pretty good. I drink them. It's one of my favorites. And the blackberry sparkling water is one of my favorites.
That sounds good. That sounds good. And that's right on time for the hot weather and just kind of getting ourselves ready for spring and summer. That's healthy. Okay. Very nice. Yeah. I have a combination of some kind of cherry and green tea or something like that. So
okay. Sounds good.
Green tea. Well, okay. Well, while we're doing that, before Hope comes on, we're going to take our time to relax ourselves and locate ourselves. So if you're in a nice position that you could just relax your shoulders and your hands and do some deep breathing, because like we said, we are in Stress Awareness Month. we want to take advantage of that, being aware of our stressors. So let's just let go of some of the stress that we have and locate ourselves.
All right.
Ah, well, thank you all for joining us during that time, and hope that you enjoyed being on the beach for a few seconds there and just taking in the view. I just, you know what, Hope, I'm ready to go back to the beach after looking at that.
Yeah,
But
I will be there next month for my
all
birthday.
right.
So I will be at the beach for a while. So
Yes.
just excited about that. Yes, I know. It's just it takes you right there. So calm. The
Mm-hmm.
water is so calm. It's
Hmm.
so beautiful, so serene and
Yes.
peaceful.
Yes.
The underclock gonna listen in today, but I'm all about peace, so I had to jump on and support. All right,
Oh,
thank you so much, Nichelle. Thank you for being in the background. Well, I know you won't have much comments today, but that's okay. Thank you for listening. And I'm just thankful to be here. I hope that you guys have located yourself and that you have your tea time journals pulled out. And as we know, this is Stress Awareness Month, and just going to continue with some things
yes.
regarding stress awareness. Last year, we had the privilege of having Dr. Paul Brown, who came and did a stress awareness webinar for us. And it was really, really informational, very instrumental and intentional. And so I realized that even as we go on, we have to kind of be reminded of a few things regarding just to keep us in alignment. You know, can start off well, but sometimes we need that push or the reminder or to continue to the momentum of making sure that we are, being active in understanding stress and what it actually means. And so for all of you this morning that's tuning in, if you can just, and as you're coming on, welcome. If you're a new timer to Tea Time, we want to welcome you to the community where we're taking time to pause, reset, and build resilience. And all of our faithful Tea Timers, just want to say welcome and good afternoon to you. And so again, we're talking about stress awareness, and this is Stress Awareness Month, and and we're going to be talking about reclaiming our peace. And stress awareness, again, it's observed in April, okay, and it helps to educate people about stresses and also the dangers, okay, and it helps to bring you aware. And when we know awareness is power, so when we have awareness, we're able to navigate better, we're able to understand better, we're able to, move forward better in understanding what we're actually up against or what we deal with on a daily basis. And even last week, Carmela, when you talked about, having joy in such a trying time in our society and with so much coming, going on, sometimes it can be really a challenge uh,
Mm-hmm.
to to be intentional about maintaining your joy, I should say. Because we
Right.
can
That's
get the
true.
joy, and then sometimes things will happen that try to, squeeze the life out of it. And so this is a really good month We have
Yeah,
all faced, some type of stress at some point. Did you want to add something, Carmela?
I am agreeing. I'm
Okay.
agreeing with what you were saying.
Oh,
Excuse me, I'm just agreeing.
no, you're fine.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah, I appreciate everybody even chiming in today
Mhm.
regarding our stress awareness and what it means and how it can impact you. And
Yeah.
so I'm just going to talk about a few things this morning when it comes to stress, and help us to provide just some understanding, sometimes because we can struggle through different things and different stresses of life. And so, defining stress, what is it? What is stress to you? If you want to chime in and put it inside of the chat, we love for your engagement. We love to hear back from you. We all share in this community and gain an understanding through our sharing. And so, when you think about stress, what do you think about, Carmela?
When I think about stress,
Mm-hmm.
when I think about stress, the first thing I think about is just a disturbance, just an overwhelmingness that comes to, whether it's coming in a form of distraction or it's coming in a form of just taking my mind off, just an overbearingness of things that come to just compact. I think if it won't be stress to me if it doesn't compact or compile, but stress is
Mm,
just an overwhelmingness of something is just taking over. And it could be good stress too, a
yeah,
good stress. But what we're talking about is
yeah,
the
good.
negative. We're talking
Yes,
about the negative stress. But this, yeah, stress is when it's just too much coming at me at one time, and and not being able to just really um let it roll off.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
stress.
And I'm glad you said that because right now I'm just gonna just talk a little bit about what stress actually does to the body.
Yes,
And
yes.
something you said, it's like an initial reaction when facing a threat or something is happening, it brings the stress. Now what
Mhm.
you said is very instrumental because this particular stress, even as I was reading and understanding, the body releases stress hormones,
Mhm.
and so even in releasing of the stress hormones and the alarm response when we're dealing with certain stressors, because stress can impact people in different ways. Some people are able to, deal with stress in ways that are healthy, and some people may not know or may not have the tools to be able to deal with
Right.
understanding, stress and how it affects our physical body. And so, sometimes when we're dealing with ongoing stress, and even as I was reading, it talked about the body attempts to adapt to ongoing stress to return to normal. Okay, it adapts to the ongoing stress, and then it returns to normal. So, like I can contest to this. Sometimes it may be something that may be happening or occurring, and I have literally all of a sudden, immediately because of the stress, I have a headache,
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
a sharp headache that's taking place because the stress is affecting my body. Not only
Mhm.
does it affect my mental and emotional state, it affects me physically as well. And so our body responds to stress, even the hormones that are released. And they have many different things now, that you can get to help to relax you, help with the stress hormones and such and things of that nature. And so it's very important to understand not only what's going on in the mental capacity, but also what's taking place in our bodies when we're experiencing stress. And so then there's this the initial reaction, and kind of like what you stated in your definition, Carmela, where you were talking about just the shock of it. And then with the shock of it, it releases something in our bodies. And then there's the part where our bodies are we're trying to return back to normal after the stress has taken place. And then after all of the stress, what happens when you're going through all of this stress is you begin to feel depleted. When you're experiencing stress for repeated periods of time, it becomes long-term damage. If the stress continues, then you start feeling depleted. Some people would say burnt out, and you begin to move in other different ways. And so even today, as we're understanding, when we say regaining our peace is being able to navigate through stressors, being able to navigate through stressors in life, that it will not affect our physical and emotional well-being. And I realize that even, as we go through life, and some of you may be able to chime in, have you experienced any moments where you were stressed and you felt it in your body? I've talked to people where their anxiety may go up and they experience different things, Carmela. Like a friend of mine, she experiences like actually like a itching, like her nerves and things. It's strange things that really happen, and strange responses that happen to your body. So see a comment coming in. Sharon says an interference or possible distraction from the norm or current status. Thank you so much for sharing that, Sharon. Okay, you can take the next comment, Carmela.
Yeah. Nichelle saying, I can deal with a great deal of normal daily stressors, but when it's extremely high levels that enter, which affect my mind, mood, and ability to concentrate, then Houston, we have a problem.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for sharing that, Nichelle. And that's what we're talking about today. How is this stress affecting, my body, my mood, me moving forward, how I function? Because in reality, we are in a world or a society or communities where things, it seems like more negative news than good news. And it seems more of stressors that can take place to kick us off into a place where our mood may switch or we're not able to concentrate. Some things that you shared, Michelle. I see Dr. Paul is chiming in. All right. When you have lots of things, that's one is attempting to manage how we react when under pressure. Thank you so much for sharing that. And again, Dr. Paul came on last year on the Renewal Center and he did a stress awareness webinar. And so it was great information. And so we're just visiting a few things because we want to be healthy, not only in our minds, emotional state, but also in our bodies. And I'm just going to move further to even talk about some things. We've defined stress. We understand stress. And I appreciate everybody keep chiming in. And then I realized that there's the common things that happen. What are some things that are common sensors that happen that can initiate or be a trigger for stress? Some things may be financial. Some things may be work related. Things may be regarding around relationships and health. These particular areas are points where people experience stress, financial, again, work related, and the such. And so these are areas, even in relationships and health, our health conditions can give us, where we experience stress when we're thinking about what we're going through, especially when it comes to our health. And so, Carmela, did you want to add anything?
Well, I was just taking some notes on some of the things that you were talking about, those things that could trigger stress. And I mean, sometimes we don't, speak to these things, but it could just be like rushing. I was sitting there thinking about rushing, simple things like procrastinating, just letting things pile up. And then, because some people, we feel like we could move off of adrenaline, that just pumps us up, you're waiting the last minute, but these things over time start to take over. And then things, I was writing down when things aren't even clear or we don't have a clear understanding and it's just sitting there. It's just nagging at you. So I was just really thinking of all of the things subconsciously that happen that are triggering stress that sometimes we don't even acknowledge that those things are overtaking us.
That's good. That's really good what you said. And so we're here to bring awareness and attention. Like you said something about adrenaline or rush. Now, I'll say that Rushing for me, it gives me a certain level of anxiety. Okay. I don't like to rush. I'm
Right.
a person, I do like to be on time. And so what I've done is, with those things, you have to be intentional about making sure you adjust your lifestyle or whatever works for you. So because I do a couple of things before I get ready to go or be on time, I've made it a point to start earlier. Okay. Give myself that time that I need so that I won't feel that rush.
Right.
And so one of my areas, and Patrick is aware because I talk to him a lot, it was when I travel. I have an anxiety. I don't have anxiety about the planes. I've been getting on planes since I was 6 years old. I have the anxiety when I experience where I almost missed a flight twice. And like you get on a flight and they shut the door behind you, and you're like, oh my gosh. It brought an anxiety, especially the area that I live in the airport that I'm currently, go through in Atlanta airport. It's a whole experience. And so I realized that was causing some forms of anxiety for me. Not the part about flying. I don't, but the part about making sure that I'm on there on time, making sure. So what I've done is I have been intentional to adjust my lifestyle to where when I have flights, I get to the airport very early, even before the time they say to be there 2 or 3 hours before. For me, for my comfort level, I'll get there earlier than that. And I'm using it as an example because I'm intentional about making sure that I provide an environment that's conducive and comfortable for me to be able to keep the anxiety and stressors down. Now, I don't have too many things that trigger the anxiety or stress, but those times that I was catching flights and realized I almost missed the flight. I mean, it was this close. And it's just like, okay, so I begin after that to make it and being intentional about doing things that's conducive to say, hey, some people can get up 40 minutes or hour, but may have to do a different time. And for me to get up to make sure I have everything, to make sure I'm ready to go and that I get there on time. Then it's the point, okay, if something happens, then what? Then I have to allow myself to navigate through something may happen. Here living in Atlanta, you may be stuck in traffic. I've learned very much the hard way.
I know about that.
Leaving on time or before time because of the traffic that we face here. And so it can be anything that affects us, especially catching a plane or being in traffic.
Yeah.
I mean, the traffic here, it's high level, where they have it rated as one of the top as far as it can cause anxiety, cause your mood to change, cause you to get antsy, impatient, maybe outbursts at other drivers or whatever may happen. But it is a form, especially for people who are driving every day because they have to go to work and they're in the same. So it's just different parts of life that can, depending on individuals, that can cause them stress that can affect their body. And so I was saying that, as far as financially, people, are concerned about their finances, things that may go on at work. Those are sensories, those are stressors that may be work-related meetings. If you have a high impact job or a career, you may experience these work-related stress as well. And relationships. Relationships take up a certain amount of space in your life. And so even with relationships, you may experience stress. That can be with your children, your friends, your family, or whatever it may be. And then there's also health. Sometimes that definitely brings on, when you have to go to these doctor's appointments and things are going on in your body, it can cause anxiety and it can cause stress. It can, especially if you're dealing with something that's repeating and just it can be a lot. And I've seen it, I've witnessed it, and I've experienced it myself. And so we just want to be aware of that with Stress Awareness Month. We want to be aware here on Tea Time of the many things that can cause stressors. Again, each individual person, we're all different. Go ahead and chime in if you want to chime in with us and let us know how you navigate certain situations, if there are any stressors for you. Carmela, did you want to share anything?
I'm thinking, I'm always over here thinking, but I was thinking more or less on what you were saying about high impact. Those things again that happen repeatedly, and it's just repeatedly, and that's not favorable, and it's just compounding. It's adding up and adding up and adding up. Kind of remind me of what we said last week about the volcano, until you get to a point where you're just a volcano, and recognizing before you even get to the volcano place or stage on some ways that you can back down and not allow it to overtake you. Those are some things that I was writing down.
You know what? And I'm glad that you said that, because it goes into our next point of what stress can lead to. Mm-hmm. And even as I was reading and studying about it in my job, they provide a lot of stress awareness seminars and information. It can lead to what they call chronic stress. Mm-hmm. Like you said, that volcano stage, mm-hmm. where it's just the explosive, because it's over and over again. And you're right in a line to what I was just, the next thing I was going to say was regarding chronic stress. And when you say chronic stress, some people say, well, what does that, what does that really mean? And the chronic stress affects your physical, mental, and your behavioral mm-hmm. as well. When you're dealing with certain stressors every day. And it's not that we're not going to have stress, but it's sometimes being able to navigate through stressful moments to be able to reclaim your peace. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It has to be a point where you reclaim. It has to be a point where you de-stress. It has to be a point where we disconnect from those things. And so when we think about, just chronic stress, and I was just amazed at some of the things that that I was reading and studying, and the physical health, like heart disease, high blood pressure, and weakened immune system.
Immune system, right?
Yeah. Where your body is being impacted, and sometimes we deal with these things. And you said something earlier, Carmela. It's like sometimes you're unaware. It's like you'll keep dealing with the same stressors every day, and it's kind of you've made it like the norm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Maybe like the norm, but your body is responding now.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And what we've made to be the norm and not aware of, our body and our body functions, our body begins to respond in a negative type of way. Right. And with our physical health. Did you want to add something to that?
I'm sitting over here concurring to what you're saying. Our bodies do respond. I think they call it, even the flight or flight and stress response and all of these things and all of the physicality things that happen. Your eyes twitching, you got dry mouth, you got headache, and or you could experience your shoulders and your back is tight, and all of these physical things, and not, even impacting our energy.
And I can admit, Carmela, I've had my stress, even because I get massages, and even they told me I had to go to the chiropractor a couple of times, but they said your stress is in the shoulders, mm-hmm. the neck. Yeah. Like sometimes, and I've shared this with you, I have had immersive pain in my neck, and realized that once I did it, and I said, let me see, if I could connect and de-stress when those moments happen, and that pain goes down, and I'm like, okay, it's connected to a stress, right. But I'm kind of unaware that sometimes you're even unaware that you're mm-hmm. even stressing, mm-hmm. You're not aware. And so, again, it can affect the our physical health as well. Yeah. Again, with heart disease, with all that, in the country, people have high blood pressure, weaker immune system, and things of that nature, which can come from the things that I mentioned previously, with your finances, with work, or your health. Those things, they can come from that, and it's just the impact of chronic stress, like you said, that volcano stage, that flight or flight, I think I'm saying it right, where you're dealing with certain different things. And then there's the mental health part of it as well, you know, where you're dealing with anxiety, where you're dealing with forms of depression or burnout. Now, I'm not a doctor or anything. I don't profess to be, but I have done enough, research, and have even taken a class where I had a certification in anxiety and stress awareness. Now, that was for me so that I could understand and know what I'm dealing with, because again, sometimes you don't know that you're dealing with these particular stresses. How can I regain my peace back if I'm not aware of what is going on? And the first step in regaining the peace is having the peace and being aware, is that I regain my power back and I build resilience. I'm able to navigate and I'm not allowing the stress to control me, right? But I'm learning how to navigate through it. And so sometimes we experience anxiety, like I mentioned with the airport. It's gone down now. It doesn't happen as often anymore. Okay. But there was once upon a time after that situation happened. And then it was a situation where I got canceled the last minute with a flight. I've dealt with all types of stuff with flying. And I haven't taken the airline since it happened. I don't care if they have a deal. I will not get on their I will not get on their plane. And I even seen a deal recently, and then it was like my mind went back. Remember, it wasn't enough leg room. All this type of stuff is impactful, and so we have to try our best to be intentional about making sure that we are able to navigate. Did you want to share something?
I'm just loving this, because we're talking, you're bringing awareness to the other side of it. And I'm just thankful that we are talking about chronic stress. It's just so prevalent everywhere you look. And so I'm glad that you're bringing awareness to it, so we know how to combat, use tools to help us with that, to regain our peace.
Yes. It's pretty quiet out there. I know you guys, our tea timers are out there. I hope you guys are taking notes and taking this in, because we all need this. We all deal with some form of stress, and then that affects our physical body. Then it's affects our mental health as well, where there's anxiety again. When we talked about the burnout,
it's
that's
real.
Good. It is real. It is real. That's why it's very intentional to take breaks in your life as needed, to disconnect as needed, to depress or come down or disconnect as needed. We're not machines, and just keep going on and on and on. Even after a while, a machine will eventually need some type of maintenance to be done to it. So we have to be intentional about being able to disconnect. And when we're being able to disconnect, I'm reclaiming my peace. I'm reclaiming my peace of mind. And so even in some behaviors, it may be, just withdrawing. Or I read something interesting too, Carmela, when I was looking at the stats and the numbers. It said overeating, 42% overeating regarding behavioral and stress. Because we say the comfort foods, like we have our comfort foods, and food brings comfort.
The donut, the mac and cheese, and
the donut, the mac and cheese, loaded with cheese.
Thought I'd throw that out there.
That was good. The bakery, Krispy Kreme and the red light on and the donuts going on. And so sometimes it's just because people may have a sweet tooth, but sometimes it's because it's the stressors, and it becomes a part of behavior as well. And then so another thing that I want to share that I have experienced is with stress, you could have an impaired memory, poor concentration, and a reduction in your roles or your perform or what you're doing for a living and your active roles. So
Yes.
you can be so stressed and so much going on that you can't concentrate or you can't remember certain things. And
That's
some
right.
people take it lightly, but it is very serious because when I've experienced it just a couple of times where I couldn't remember or it was foggy, it makes you when you experience it. For me, it made me feel some type of way, like what's going on? I can't, and so it can affect. It's coming from stress, but then when you realize what you're dealing with, that also brings a stress as well. So sometimes our memories are impacted and we
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
concentrate, we can't focus, we don't
That's
have
right.
clarity when there's a certain level of stress that's taking place. And again,
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about stress tea time community for those who have just joined us because April is Stress Awareness Month. And we're talking about it today. We're talking about stress awareness and reclaiming your joy. And in reclaiming our joy, we have to be aware of what we're going through and what we're experiencing and why we feel the way we feel, because awareness is power. And so we're talking about just the different aspects of stress and the impact that it can have on our body, the impact it can have on our physical health, our mental health, our behavior, and how we act and how we function as well. And so we want to be able today to bring to a point, because this is Stress Awareness Month, meaning we're being made aware that we're recognizing the signs of stress. And so, and how it has an impact on our body. And that's what I was saying to you earlier, Carmela, and Tea Time community, is
Mm.
that sometimes you don't even know you're experiencing stress,
That's
especially
right.
if it's familiar.
That's right.
You become a partner in the familiarity of the feeling. So now you're not
Mm.
aware that you're experiencing a stress. And so I'll tell
Wow.
you, it's just like, every day, oh, this is just how it is. Or what is that saying that they say sometimes come out of this? What do they say? It is what it is.
It is what it is. Mm-mm.
I get the realities of understanding something, but what that statement does is it closes down anything to take place for change and transformation.
That's right. That's
It's
right.
like saying that this is just what it is. I'm stuck here, but I've closed myself off to experience change, transformation, and freedom. And so that's kind of
Good.
like sometimes with dealing with stress. And so recognizing some signs of stress, some emotional signs, maybe you get irritable, you get irritated quickly, there may be anxiety, again you may feel overwhelmed with the burnout, and you may have mood swings.
Mm.
And again, some of these things have to be, checked out with your physician to see if there's other things that may be, impacting that part, of your life, and that you may be responding that way. But right now, we're talking about just recognizing the signs of stress. So go ahead, tea time, and chime in. Have you ever had to deal with stress? How have you navigated through moments of stress, moments of anxiety? Have you been made aware of stress or awareness of it, and not becoming a partner with it, meaning becoming a partner with the familiarity of already waking up for the new day and saying, I already know it's going to be stress.
I
And,
like
and I'm not saying that it's not, that you're not dealing with a situation that's stress, but it's kind of when you become familiar with it that you don't even recognize that you're being stressed.
that was something else.
Did you want to share anything, Carmela?
Yeah, I do. Something that you said. I said, whoa, partnering. You're being partners with stress. You just walking hand in hand with just buddying up with it. And it's just really interesting that you made that connection, because that is so true, that we've become so accustomed to it, to the point that you are partnering with it, that you're not giving yourself enough adequate, like you said, a place to open up and allow yourself, like it is what it is point, so that you're not aware that you do have tools to combat it. So when you said that, I said, wow, partnering with it. That's really
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. It's like it's because it's your partner, because you're familiar, and now
Mhm.
you're not even aware anymore because you become accustomed to it.
It's
But your
good.
body is responding and things are happening, and you're quite not knowing where's the source of this coming from. Sometimes we may think it's something that's, terminally major, and then it may be just the stressors. And so some physical things, like I said, I told you, I talked about the headaches. I became like, once I started reading and connecting with my job about it, and taking, classes and things, I would notice like something happened, an instant headache. And I'm like, wow. I mean, then I'm like, wow, that impacted me like that, where I got a striking headache, or muscle tension, or
Mm.
even feeling tired,
Mhm.
or fatigue, or even sometimes digestive issues,
Yeah, very much
where
so.
it's so much that is encompassed in it. And so I encourage us all to continue to read and understand and be aware of the stress that we have, in our lives, and be aware of it, reading about it, connecting to community. And I'm going to share a few things about that. And so even with stress, and it's just so much, Carmela, oh my gosh, that physically and emotionally and mentally happens, not just like with the physical signs, but also, sleeping. Sleeping, you may have, can't sleep because of stress of insomnia or eating patterns, or again, like just withdrawing, from community and people, just withdrawing. And it can cause that. So even in that, like I said, we're reclaiming our peace back when we understand and we are aware of what we are dealing with. And
Mhm.
so sometimes we have to say, when you said the partnership, or where we're walking hand in hand with it, sometimes we, to regain our peace, is I have to break the partnership with it. I have to say, hey, I'm not walking hand in hand with you anymore. I'm aware of what's going on, and I'm
Mhm.
going to be intentional about navigating through this. And so I'm not going to partner with you anymore. No,
Mhm.
I'm not going to just say it's just, it is what it is. Yes, we will deal with stresses, but we don't have to be so familiar where we just become numb to it, or we don't recognize it. And sometimes it's just time to break the partnership. It's time to break the connection. And we can do that by being
Yes.
aware of our behavior. Like I said, it's important that we journal. And that's why, um, I'm glad you guys have your tea time journals out. And I know, I'm asking people to engage, but not much engagement is going on. But if you are becoming aware of what is taking place, you begin to write that down. You begin to notice your sleeping habits, even negative self-talk that can take place. And a lot of these things I have actually been through and encountered, being transparent. A lot of this I have witnessed, and I've been intentional about moving forward. And so, before we close out about this stress, and we were talking about regaining our peace, we want to talk about just management. How do I manage the stress? How
Yes.
do I move forward? There's some sense of talking about it and being aware, if we don't release an understanding of what can I do to interactively and intentionally
Mhm.
implement certain things in my life to help me to be able to have balance and understanding. So there's, being mindful, taking time to sit, even our locating ourselves. And I know we do it every week, but I tell you, it is so important. You know,
Yes. Yes, it
Carmela,
is.
I have been in places where I'm about to go into a meeting or come out of it, and I will locate myself right then and there.
That's right. It's a good
And
practice.
yeah, and it reduces the stress hormone,
Mhm.
and even reduces it by a certain amount. I read it's like 30-40%. It reduces it before, after for me. Did you want to add something?
I'm just saying, yeah, that practice, that we do locating yourself. It's just not for us on Tea Time Tuesday. We do it as a community, but you can take that anywhere. You can take that practice anywhere you go and just
Mhm.
locate yourself right then and there.
Yeah, yeah. I have done it. When I was hospitalized, I did it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Due to stress, due to high blood
Mm-hmm.
pressure. And I had to
Mm-hmm.
sit there and just locate myself. And I'm just being transparent.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it helped.
Real.
It brought everything down.
Yeah.
And even sometimes just quiet, peace, and calm,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
disconnecting and connecting with nature, maybe sounds of water, maybe soft music, maybe just nothing at all, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And something else that you do regularly, and that's walking, regular exercise. You walk.
Yeah.
I do exercise. I do 2, 3 times a week, but I'm going to increase more. This, when we exercise, it releases the what do you call it? Endorphins or
Mm-hmm.
something. Endorphins, which help to improve our mood. Now, and so I tell you, every time I exercise, I get that movement in. And you know what? I'm intentional about it because sometimes, Carmela, I don't feel like doing it. I just be like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired. I'm
Amazing.
I don't feel like, but once I get into it and when it's over, I'm feeling like, yeah, like
You're a
I'm
brand
feeling
new person.
I'm a brand new person. I'm like, yeah. So it feels
Yep.
good and it releases and improves mood. And so also, and I'm talking about this is some steps and some things you can do to help manage the stress by that quietness, exercise, uh, uh, connection socially,
Mm-hmm.
like what we're doing now. Tea Time is a community where we can connect. We can release. It's a safe community that we've built where we can connect with others, connect with somebody for lunch or a conversation. Connection with others peoples helps to buffer stress.
Mm.
Helps to, when we're connecting with others, I can smile at you, you can smile at me, we can talk, and this helps to eliminate some forms of stress, as well as time management.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know all about that. If you want to know about time management, you
Look,
having a problem with time management, you can go to Coach Mel, who has seminars and information to help you to be able to prioritize your tasks
we
and
need
set
help in
realistic
that
goals.
aspect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So time management with, like even when I learned from your class, prioritizing tasks and
Yeah.
setting
Yeah.
realistic goals.
That's good. Yes.
If you want to add
Yes.
anything?
I'm just piggybacking off of you. I mean, I think sometimes we look at time management, we go back to what we were talking about rushing earlier, and that rushing thing, even like you said, in traffic, we can't control any of that, but we can control how we, approach our day. So we know we're going to be running into all of the traffic or being late or just all of that, because that just adds more and more stress to the table. It's just too much when we're rushing around. So you just piggybacking off when you said, time management, doing too much and taking on and don't say no,
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you guys, if you need to
much.
connect or need some coaching regarding that, please connect to Carmela. She's
Thank you.
great at this. This is what she does to help you to prioritize your tasks and set things in order and straight. And I appreciate that and what you do because it
Thank
helps
you.
people, you know.
Thank you.
And so also just want to leave you guys with the last thing is a healthy lifestyle and getting some sleep and getting rest and knowing when to just lay it down and get your rest on when you can. And I am still working on that, but I've come I've improved greatly in that area. And so, all right, so we're going to close out. So we're going to be here longer with you guys, but we want to make sure again that you connect with like what Coach Carmela provides. She provides seminars and different. You can connect with different events and different people who are helping you. There's so much out there to help people navigate. It's
Yeah.
just about connecting. And so it's a good thing to connect and continue to connect to our community, Tea Time community, where we actually take time to pause, reset, and build resilience. And the
Yes.
first word it says is pause.
Pause. Yes.
Pause. Locate ourselves so that we can reset. Make sure, I want to leave you all with this. Make sure that you are taking action to prioritize your well being. Make sure that you connect with people and continue to make sustainable changes weekly so that you can see progress, which will help to build your confidence. If you need any type of help or anything, you can seek, support from different people that are there to help with this. And then we want to be able to spread the awareness and share resources with others. And that's what we're doing. This helps to build resilience. And so that is going to be our tea time today.
It's good.
All right. And I think I see I didn't see the comments. Oh gosh.
We had a lot of engagement going on today.
And I didn't even see them. Let me go ahead and get these comments up here. I am so sorry. It didn't show me that there were comments. Okay. Running late. Dr. Paul, I tell you, I have learned my lesson. I'm a very timely person now. Very timely. Thank you, Dr. Paul. Dr. Paul says ahead of time is better time, resulting in reduce. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened at the airport. When I was there way ahead of time, guess what I did, Carmela? I would just sit there. I didn't care I had to wait extra. I was calm. It was such a time. Calm. So thank you for sharing that. That's really good. You can take the next comment.
Okay. Alicia, she said, that's good. Planning ahead, time management, and being intentional of what I'm trying to do more of to minimize my stress level. That's good.
That's good. All right.
And Michelle, she's saying, for me, chronic stress is the gateway for burnout. I've had more than my fair share of burnout over a lifetime. I have daily routines that help me so I don't fall in the burnout cycle.
Oh, that's good. You have daily routines. That's what it's about. You're being intentional. Yes, being intentional. Been quiet because I've been working and driving. Okay. That's all right. We thank you for tuning in. All right. Dr. Paul Brown says, employ the DEAR. Anastatic drinking, eating, exercising, and resting. These performed regularly for you will help to manage stress. You feel better. All right, take that down. Come on. We have good wisdom. Dr. Brown did our stress webinar, very versed in this. So we want to take that down, put that employ the DEAR.
Like that.
Yes, drinking, eating, exercising, and resting. That's very good.
That water. I'm trying to make sure I increase my water. Yes. I'm trying.
I'm working on it. I have my water. Yeah, I'm doing the same. Thank you so much, Dr. Paul, for sharing that. Alicia says, everything shared I get. Unfortunately, I am well too aware of chronic stress and its effects on you. Working through stress management now. Thank you for being transparent, Alicia. Yeah. Thank you so much. And the good thing is that you are working on it and you're going to get through it. And that's the good thing. Yes. You can read the next comment.
Okay. Alicia, she's saying again, to address stress, I've chosen to take time off work, changing the atmospheres I am in, spending time at the lake for quiet time, planning time for the beach, and disconnecting from electronics and media.
That's very good. That's good. See, this is intention. She has a plan. She's like, I'm not partnering with this. This is her plan, and it's working for her. This is good. Thank you so much for sharing, Alicia. Okay.
That is so good.
For me, taking a walk while listening to music is very relaxing. During the walk, taking a note of nature and surroundings is a calming effect. Not rushing, enjoying the moment. Remember the turtle. Thank you so much, Dr. Paul, for sharing that.
Yes.
Not rushing. Absolutely. All right. Michelle says, I almost always have prophetic worship music playing. It's my go-to that maintains my atmosphere of peace. Listening to the sounds of nature, nice car ride, and fresh air are some of my go-tos. Oh, yeah, that fresh air is nothing like it. Thank you so much for sharing, Michelle.
This is good.
Tips today. Much appreciated. You are welcome. Gotta love the dedication, Alicia. We're both working, but we came to get our peace lesson. Thank you so much, guys. I really, that is really good. So we're going to go ahead and go into our time of our announcements. And thank you all, guys, for sharing today. All right. We're going to go into our announcements.
Well, we would like you to give to the Renewal Center if you are enjoying and taking part of some of the content that we are providing and you really would like to connect to the Renewal Center in a tangible way. We invite you to donate to the Renewal Center, and there's so many ways that you can give, all of the different things that are going on, the ministries that we have, all of the programming that's available, which we'll talk about shortly. But you can give at the Renewal Center on our website at www.therenewalcenters.com/give. All of these options are available to you right there on the screen. We have all these options: PayPal, Cash App, Zelle, Venmo. You can even text to give. And if you would like to drop a check in the mail and pay that way and send a money order, you can do that as well at P.O. Box 1381. Concord, North Carolina, 28026. And while you're thinking about the different ways you can give, also download the mobile app. There is an option there, not just to give only, but all of the different programming and all of the sermons, all of the announcements, the messages, Bible studies, everything's loaded into the app, also, which will take you to our YouTube channel. So we invite you to give today, and we look forward to receiving your donation. And so while you're thinking about that, you can join us for morning prayers on Fridays, starting this Friday at 6:30 a.m. So go ahead and put that in your clock so that you can go ahead and wake up and join us for 6:30 a.m. prayer. There is the Zoom link right there on the screen, 864-2866-4841, PW Lead 2021. That's the password. So Lead 2021 is the password, and then the Zoom link is right there provided. So go ahead and join us this Friday at 6:30 for morning prayer. And then while you're thinking of that, we love to invite you to our Kingdom of God series. It's been going on for some time now on Wednesday nights at 7:30 p.m. That's our Reforming Culture Bible study. We welcome you in advance. We're looking forward to seeing you. I want to go ahead and stress the fact that while we are in Stress Awareness Month, this is even a greater time to promote the fact that we do have a grief recovery program. We do have 2 grief recovery specialists on site here, virtually, that you can contact, and they're certified to help you with individual grief sessions. Also, the GPS, the grief, pain, and stress group sessions. We invite you to reach out to the Renewal Center's website and find out more information about grief recovery. Grief is just not surface. This is something that many people have going on in their lives and would need an opportunity to help you navigate through this. And so we're here to help with that. Please contact the Renewal Center team right there on the website. And we would love to connect with you to let you know what the criteria is for grief recovery. And Sundays, we offer New You Digital Discipleship, our worship time, on Sundays that we love for you to join us at 10 a.m. This is our virtual services that we have on Zoom. And then we are always showing our New You on the first Sunday live on our YouTube channel. Please join us for New You Digital Discipleship. Find out more information on our social media platforms on how you can register for the New You link. And that concludes the announcements.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and coming and regaining peace.
Yes,
we move forward in navigating stress. Again, if you need services for time management, please contact Carmela Head, who's a coach. She has many other services that she provides as well that you can connect to that will help you. We just want to thank you all for joining us today. And we'll see you next Tuesday for our another Tea Time Tuesday session. You guys have a great day and a wonderful afternoon. And remember, I am renewal.
I
Take
renewal.
care of each other.